Hey everybody, good morning. Got a massive fucking headache. Let's start the day. Ugh. Sorry, I'm just fucking tired. I wake up late and I go to bed late and wake up early. It's a bad habit. And yes, I'm selling sunglasses because my glasses won't come in until at least a 7 from what they told me. So I'm stuck wearing shades every single waking moment of my life. It kind of sucks. Ugh. I mean, it's cool in the daytime. Daytime, I don't mind it, but I was sitting in my house at night just watching TV in the dark, and I'm like, man, I can't see shit. Oh, thanks for telling me I'm live, Facebook. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Facebook. What to talk about? First off, oh, we got a viewer. That's cool. Wonder who's viewing. I can't actually pull up who's viewing yet. Good morning to whoever that is. 3 viewers? Is that wrong? 4 or 1? Sorry, my eyesight's pretty bad, so I got my glasses off for a second. So basically, Summer Showdown yesterday. First and foremost, Gusto and BC Elite. That first game was awesome. That was a really hyped up game. What a good way to start that tournament out. That was a nice back and forth battle. That's actually going to be the first game I edit when I go in this morning, is Gusto and BC Elite, the first game. Nice back and forth game between those two. An awesome fight to the very end. BC is very fucking resilient. What can I say? BC Elite is really fucking good. They brought in a lot of talent, I could tell, for that tournament, and it worked out extremely well for them. They mixed and merged and meshed really well, and I get them a lot of props. Gusto, great victory to start it out the day. But Gusto kind of just would drop off for the rest of the way. Next game was TBT Rampage. We held in there. I mean, we fought hard to the very end. I'll give my guys props. I mean, they fought hard. Took an L, yeah, but fought hard. 21-7 was the final. Just too much Rampage, and that just killed us. We just didn't have enough to fight in the end, and they had enough, and their enough was 14 points better than what we got, and that happens, you know. Probably karma for last fall, you know. We kind of were dicks to them when we won that last game, but it happens. Shout out to them though for putting together a hell of a team. That was a really good roster of guys Rampage had yesterday. That's an all-star roster. That's legit good. Massive props to Rampage for building that roster they had yesterday. That is excellent GM work. Like, that is fucking brilliant. I admire that shit. As a fellow general manager, I admire that. Like, I can't hate on it. It's like, it's smart. It's just what happens. People will say, oh, they loaded up. They didn't have their real team. Don't matter. I can say I didn't have my real team yesterday. Shit. Who you have is who you have that day. Bottom line. I quote the immortal Andy Hoffman. All you got, all you need. Boom. And yesterday, they won that first game 21-7. They balled out. They took over as the game went on and never looked back. See, my memory's a little fuzzy. I'll probably remember it a little bit better when I watch the film again. That's going to be the second game I do. Third game of the day was Gusto Land Rampage. I didn't really film it because as the guy who runs Blunt Talk, you gotta talk to your team after a loss. You can't just go back out there. You just can't. At least not for a bit. So I didn't go back out for a bit. That and my phone battery was not charging the whole day. Like, the app uses so much battery power that when my battery pack is plugged in, it still loses power. Not as fast, but just slowly as like the streams go on. So I didn't get a chance to watch much of it, but I know Rampage came out victorious to advance to the finals. Gusto Land had a lot of guys from York. They really did. They were a team who I actually was a little bit disappointed with yesterday. I felt like they had the potential to win this tournament or at least get to the finals because it was in their hometown. I mean, it was right there in York. They had everything to their disposal. Like, massive home field advantage for Gusto. But they lost that game to Rampage. And we'll get to the BC Elite TBT game right about now. And I'll then cut back to Gusto and what happened with them. TBT BC Elite, we had a good start. We really did. And then just BC Elite took over as the game went on. They did a really good job. TJ Holston is underrated. People need to stop hating on TJ Holston. That kid can ball. He's good. I'm curious to watch how he grows these next couple years, but I've seen... Yesterday was the first time I watched TJ Holston in my life. Didn't catch him at Charm City because I just never did. Didn't catch him in York last year. Didn't watch KFFL. So yesterday was a first for me seeing a TJ Holston play, and he's good. He's really good. Massive props to him. I felt like yesterday was his coming out party. People got to see what TJ Holston could do in what was 4 different games. They beat us 20-12. Just fell short at the end. That's the thing, like, yesterday did suck. Don't get me wrong. Fuck yesterday. From my perspective, fuck yesterday. Drive 90 minutes to York, lose both games, have half the team drop out the same week. I mean, that fucking sucks. But that's life. I remember I was on the player end of that back at, and Mikey, we were watching right now, so you probably remember Virginia Beach 2015 when the Red Knights were so short on guys because guys kept dropping out that you had to recruit me, Paul, Allen, and Lee for Survivors to play defensive line for that Virginia Beach tournament. It was rough. I mean, we had a lot of guys playing way out of position. I think our offensive line toward the end was Swole, AJ, and Devin Gary. And Devin never played it before. I give a lot of props to guys like Swole for stepping up and just playing when they play a position that they normally don't and coming out there and playing their asses off, you know. It's hard to find guys who are willing to just put their bodies on the line and do what they need to do to win the game. Especially in a day and age where everybody is focused on themselves and not the team. Oh, I know you guys were glad to have me. I just realized, I realized, I don't think we were exactly what you were expecting. Around that time. It was cool that the Survivors got to merge with the Red Knights for that tournament. I really wish, looking back, that we did more of that stuff. I felt like it would have benefited the league. BC Chargers, yep. I went up against them. I went up against Rideout, too. I think. There's an old photo of me, and I think Kent said that's me going against Rideout. Before I even knew what Rideout was. I got a way better idea nowadays, but back then it was all foreign to me. That was my first ever tournament. Virginia Beach 2015. It was a good experience. I got more playing time on the Red Knights than any team in my flag career. That is a fact. That is a fact. More than the Ducks, more than the Survivors. I did more plays playing for the Red Knights. Andy had me in a lot, and I really appreciated it. I'm going to go back to yesterday in a moment. This is usually my time to just talk about whatever. Yeah, good times. 5 years ago now, Scunyon. That's been 5 years. Where does the time go? Next game, BC Elite Gusto Land 2. That was awesome. That was cool. What a battle that was. Again, we lost, so I had to... Your supply... I'll get back to that in a second. Yeah, let me get to BC Elite Gusto Land 2 after this. I address the comment. Yeah, we were good. Like, we didn't have bad players. I mean, Allen was more of an O-lineman. Like, Allen was more of a center. He was actually one of the best centers I ever had. Shout out Allen Roberts. Wish he was still out there. I heard he contacted the captain the other day. I got contacted by a captain the other day telling me that he contacted him, and I'm like, that's awesome. I'd love to see him back in flag football. Paul Shade was a damn good D-end. Like, he knew how to be more physical than the O-lineman and get to the quarterback. Really good flag puller. I liked Paulie. Paulie was great. Lee was a bit of a project. He did pretty well on D-line. I think he wanted to play more after that. But ultimately, I just never really saw Lee after that tournament. I think that tournament was one of the last times I saw Lee. I see the allure of the Knights. I have respect for the Red Knights organization. I have a lot of respect for the Red Knights. The only team in Washington County history to make it to the finals, nationals. You know, that's a lot. The only team. That said, am I part of the Red Knights alumni? And if so, am I invited to the reunions? Just wondering. I'd love to have a jersey, though. That'd be cool. Let me go back to BC Elite and Gusto. BC Elite and Gusto. Another damn good game between those two. They need to play more often. We need to see more BC Elite versus Gusto Land. I'd watch the fuck out of a BC Elite Gusto Land game if, like, they did another one. Because those two teams, like, just mesh really well together. It makes it more fun. I might have to get my charger because battery's really low. Hold on, maybe this will work. There we go. But yeah. BC Elite Gusto was awesome. Look forward to that. I didn't get a chance, like I said, I didn't film it because I got to talk to my team after games. I'm not going to leave them hanging. You got to do that. Final game of the day, goddamn. Next to final game of the day, BC Elite Rampage Part 1. BC Elite came out, and I'll give them props. They weren't afraid of Rampage. But I could tell Rampage was also kind of stiff, kind of slow coming out. I mean, you got to consider they had a long break. So I could see where that affected them, sitting out in the heat all that time. I feel like that affected them in the BC game because clearly by the end of the game, Rampage was starting to move the ball again. They were doing well. You know, I thought Rampage was going to come back and possibly win the game, but BC held on at the end and got that first win. Second game, what a good final that was. That was a really good final. Back and forth between those two, BC Elite and Rampage. We need to see more between those guys. Coming out of this weekend, I would have to say BC Elite might be one of the most entertaining teams to watch. They have a lot of big play potential. TJ runs around a lot. You never know what's going to happen when he does that. They had a couple guys come over from 8-man from the Untouchables And I think for a few of them, it was their first 9-man experience, and they balled out all the way. It's really interesting to see where each team goes from here. Rampage won the final 14-13. The biggest key play was the missed extra point by BC's kicker. I didn't have his name. I'm pretty sure Scott or TJ can mention it in the comments. BC's kicker shanked the extra point at the end. And I could tell why, because he was trying to avoid the block, but in trying to avoid it, he missed it, and Rampage got the ball back, and BC never got another shot at it the rest of the way. They just couldn't get a stop on defense. Rampage ran the clock out because there was only 2 timeouts. They went through them fast. And Rampage was your winner, 14-13. Congratulations to Rampage on winning the tournament. They did a great job yesterday. Like, you know, they didn't have Chris, but they made a smart move bringing in Dio. They had a couple of bullets come in and do well for them. Dion and Jared Cohen, who can't give enough praise to him. If there was a Rookie of the Year award for last year for flag football, he would be a nominee. Because he came in and he's made a big impact on every team he goes on. Like, a major impact. Like, this guy is legitimately... And he did go to North Carolina. I think he's a former 4-star recruit, I want to say. I look at his Rivals profile. But he's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. My coach, that rain, actually, I could see that being a major factor. I don't think the ball he just couldn't get his footing at times. That rain was a major factor in game 1. It was a hell of a storm, too. Like, it just started pouring down out of nowhere. I was standing next to Kate Ferrente. I think her last name is Ferrente. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm bad at pronouncing names. Don't ever ask me to pronounce a name. I butcher it every time. I was sitting next to her, and she was telling me, like, yeah, the radar showing it's just going to pass us by. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, she's like, we shouldn't be hit. And then next thing I know, it just, I was like, God. I was like, please don't turn into Gettysburg again. Let's not turn this into Gettysburg. We don't need rain to happen. Anytime I see rain at a flag football event, I get PTSD flashbacks to Gettysburg. That tournament traumatized me for life. I'll never recover from Gettysburg. Worst tournament ever. Summer Showdown, though. Summer Showdown was a good time. The only problem we had was a referee dropped out that morning, from what I was told, leaving to be 2 refs. It's a shame we couldn't get the best guys available for it in terms of running, officiating, and all that. We did try contacting Kent Page at the very beginning. Kent was unavailable. Otherwise, he would have been up there. I tried to talk to my league referees, but all of them made plans after the Summer Scissor was canceled, so it happens. You just get stuck with things sometimes. I mean, I feel like if Corona's going to continue being a pain in the ass, and we're not going to be able to play real circuit stuff, which New York has the Corona Classic coming up, which is going to be awesome. I'm trying to go to that, actually. I don't have the money. I really don't, but I really have to go to it. New Rochelle, New York. Never been up there. Would love to check it out. If we don't get any circuit stuff and we can't play 9-man leagues, I would love to see the owners of 9-man and the DMV come together and put together private games like the ones like we've been doing. I feel like that's the route we should go on. And we could run double elimination 14 format the whole time. Or if, because one day is easier than two. It's so much easier to do one day. And it's better that way because come back the next day and it's like, no, let's just do one. If we could get something like that happening, I think that'd be great. I think it'd be great for the game. We have the resources. We do. We have guys in our 9-man community who have the resources to make this happen. If we can't get our league back, we can make a league of our own. Even if we have to find a field in the middle of a cornfield and say, let's clear it out and put in a football field. If you build it, they will come. Yes, Gettysburg was super trash. I agree. Shout out Patrick Crawford. Good Lord. My memory of Gettysburg was rain, lots of rain. My cell phone getting ruined, that was another problem. And I think the worst thing was to me was the fact that there was no day 2 and everybody was just kind of left high and dry. Terrible. So what's on the agenda, you're wondering? What's next? Let's finish this up by saying congratulations, Rampage. There's a lot of guys I've known for years on that team who deserve to get a championship ring. Shout out to them. I like Rampage. I actually like Rampage legitimately. You guys are legit awesome. Like, I hung around with them a little bit in York last year. Got to know a couple guys. Gotten to know more guys in the last couple of weeks. As a team, I dig Rampage. And once we get an actual circuit, let's see what they can do. Don't do tourneys in PA. All facts. I think 2 of the worst tournaments I've ever been to were both in PA. I'm not going to say what the other one was because I'm not going to be a dick. It was not this tournament though. Nor was it a KFFL one. But 2 of the worst tournaments I've ever been to were in PA. I think Ross has the same rule too. He told me, like, don't do anything in PA or something along those lines. PA is just wildly cursed for some reason, even though on paper it should be a beacon of flag football, but it's nothing. There's a lot of strange things that happen in PA. The weather gets kind of weird. I remember I was in Greencastle last year, and we just had a random-ass hurricane or tornado or whatever the fuck it was come through, and from what I was told in Maryland, it never even hit us. But it just happened in Greencastle, it seemed like. Every single week. Just random storm would just break out. And then I drive to the Maryland border and the storm was gone. Best one for me, Scunny, would probably be Summer Sizzler last year. That was an awesome tournament. Because we won. That's an obvious one. But what's up next? Let's talk about it. First and foremost, today I am going to go film scrimmages. The 410 Ravens are in town. What the hell? How did this happen? How did the 410 Ravens come to Hagerstown? They'll be taking on the Killer Bees, the Program, and the Spartans. So there's a new challenger in the mix of this flag football Sunday games. And we'll have it live for you later today. 410 Ravens, Killer Bees, Program, Spartans. It's going to be a jamboree, boys. Let's get ready for that. What else is coming up? We got a big week ahead, actually. 4 State Uncut returns with a special episode. Actually, we're not doing 4 State. Let's bring back Blunt Talk for a special event episode where we talk about next weekend's no experience necessary 5-man contact tournament. We'll be live from Hagerstown, Maryland, back at the fairgrounds next Sunday for what's going to be a 5-man tournament. Closed invite, first and foremost. We are only allowing 6 teams at the moment, and all 6 are from the Washington County or Keystone Flag Football League. So we're going to have 5-man next week. Here are the 6 current teams in the 5-man tournament. Warriors, Program, Spartans, Killer Bees, Immortals, Green Machine. All 6 teams are coming up for that tournament. We'll be kicking that off at 9 a.m. 5-man action. It's going to be great. It's the first, I think this is the first 5-man game that's ever been played in Hagerstown. We'll be playing at the fairgrounds. We're going to have 6 teams. Pool play will be happening. There's going to be... It's going to be interesting. Cram? Yeah, Marley. Hey, Marley, are you playing in the 5-man tournament next week? I think you would ball out in 5-man. I think you'd like it a lot. But, no, that's going to be awesome. 5-man tournament, 6 teams. I may extend it to 9, but the problem is I need more refs. I only have 3 refs right now. I'm trying, if I get a 4th ref, we could do 2 fields. I'm looking for somebody who could do 5-man officiating, but somebody who actually has either played 5-man or knows how to officiate. I'm not paying random guy off the street money to officiate a 5-man game that he has no understanding of. I want to go for referees who get the game and everything else. So far, we actually have confirmed. We have 2 refs coming down from Showtime, AJ and CJ. Looking forward to seeing both of them next Sunday. They'll be officiating the games. We're looking to get other guys as well. If anybody's interested that has either 5-man experience or has done officiating and is willing to read the FFWCT rulebook on 5-man, please be there. Sunday at the fairgrounds next week, kicking off at 9 a.m. We're going to announce the matchups on 4 State Uncut later in the week. We're going to do some shows from a location that we've never shot before. We'll be doing shows in Newmarket, Maryland. I will not be, Ross will be off for the week. I'll be by myself for the most part. We're going to talk about different things and different aspects of this tournament. We're going to talk to some experts on 5-man and see what they think. We're going to also interview the captains as well as do a drawing. Part of a multi-night event. Along with a special 4 State Uncut episode, or a special Railroader report this week. We got a busy week ahead. If everything works out, Brunswick will actually be playing next Saturday night against a team called the Assassins, I believe. How ironic that the Railroaders could debut against the Assassins. What a weird way to start the flag football. Or, sorry, tackle football, semi-pro ball for Brunswick. So we got a lot of content coming up for the next week or so. We got several episodes we're going to be doing in Newmarket. We got 5-man, we got 9-man scrimmages. And like I said, I'm always taking gigs anytime. If you want a camera guy, you want me to go live, I'll cover your stuff. The only thing I ask for is a hotel. I just need a place to stay at, because nobody wants to drive 4 hours up, 4 hours back. No, just give me somewhere to crash and I'll leave in the morning. But we're excited. Flag football is running. We're doing good. Trying to hold as strong as we can. Hopefully we can get some league ball going. We need some league ball. We need some more tournament ball. More of that, please. Let's get back to what we used to do. Let's have some fun. So, 9-man is on the way back. 5-man is on the way up. We'll have both of you, or both of them rather, here on Joey Blaze. So till next time, I'm Joey Blaze, and we'll see you later today for a special scrimmage in Hagerstown.